This was the first One Piece drawing I ever did, brothers and sisters, and although I'm not quite fond of it, I don't think it's bad, so remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you'd like to see more artwork like this. One Piece, Chapter 84, Zombie. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always and expected, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the gripping, action-filled, thrill-a-minute tale of One Piece. Our last chapter saw us with quite a bit of action happening, actually, in the last couple of chapters, but all in all, at the end of it, we wrapped up the chapter with Luffy having been stuck in the ground since performing his windmill attack, the chapter prior to that. He was grabbed and picked up by Arlong. Excuse me, I don't know why I can't remember names sometimes, and tossed into the sea. So at the end of it, you know, Sanji and Zoro are about to jump in after him, and then they're like, "No, that's just what they want us to do," you know. So they've basically said we're just going to finish them off quickly, Hachi and Kuroobi. So, and then remember, Usopp is off being chased by Chu. So that's how the chapter ends. That's where this one picks up. And honestly, I mean, these are those real quick, you know, action-filled ones that are real cool. Some things of consequence do happen. The pages flow very well, but all in all, it really is just like one big long action scene. So it starts off again right where we left off, and Luffy, of course, is kind of now sinking in the ocean, in the water, and everybody's like, man, we got to get to him to help him. So it then goes to Yusaku and Johnny, and they're like, oh yeah, geez, brother Luffy needs help, and even the villagers are looking. And the thing that gets me about this is, even though it's one long action scene and probably only takes place over the course of a couple of minutes, it seems to take a while into the chapter before anybody really gets anything going as far as, like, let's do Operation Rescue Luffy, he's fucking drowning. So I don't know how long people can hold their breath in here, but I know I'm probably maybe a minute and a half tops, and then I'm dead because I'm inhaling water. So, but again, like I said, I'm sure everything is moving very quickly, and although it's, you know, 20-25 pages, you know, it probably takes place over the course of a minute or two, I guess. So, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So Zoro basically turns, and he turns his attention towards them. Arlong goes and laughs about Luffy being thrown in there, and he's like, ha ha ha, he can't even breathe underwater like us, the great fishmen, you know, and you know him with this big fucking head. So anyway, so Hachi kind of starts coming at Zoro. Zoro says he's going to take care of his little octopus ass, and they start going at it. And Hachi, you know, comes at him with an attack, thinking he's going to take him off, you know, off balance and nail him. Zoro basically says, you know, I'll beat you in 5 seconds and get this done and over with, right? Mop the floor with you. So Zoro dodges one of his attacks and then kind of comes at him and, you know, and cuts with his sword. And the next thing you know, you see Hachi in the next picture, and you know, his head, even though he's an octopus, it's kind of like star shaped, I guess. He's got, like, you know, these horn looking things, tentacles coming out of his face, and he has cut the top off of the top 2 or 3 of them, you know. And she's like, oh, my hair, you know, man, you know what I'm gonna do to you for that? And then it goes to the next panel, and he goes, absolutely nothing. He goes, it's just hair, it'll grow back. It's just kind of like, yeah, I got all worked up for nothing, don't worry about it, no big deal. So him and Zoro, and then as this fight is wearing on and progressing, Zoro seems like he's kind of huffing and, you know, losing some of his energy and some of his strength. And then Sanji and Kuroobi are going to go at it as well. And Kuroobi comes at Sanji to go to nail him. Sanji dodges him and goes and just fucking, you know, does like a flip, whack, whack, kick in his face, you know, and then basically says, yeah, you know what cooks do to fish, right? Basically getting, like, you know, cut their heads off and cook them and eat them. It's not what he says, but that's what's inferred, I guess you would say. So it then goes and it goes back to Zoro, you know, fighting against Hachi, and Hachi goes and Zoro's basically just like, you know, just die already, you know, let me beat you, you know, and he's coming at him and trying to nail him, and Hachi goes and does this move, this stick-'em move, where he basically jumps up and he's just trying to buy himself time because he knows that Zoro's trying to defeat him to go save Luffy, right? So he goes and jumps up and kind of sticks himself to the to the ceiling, to the wall, you know, 10, 15 feet above, and Zoro's like, come on, get down here so I can beat you. What the hell, right? So, and then as I said, you can see that Zoro is kind of huffing and puffing. It looks like he's weakened, so we can only assume he's still feeling the effects of his battle with Hawkeye from, you know, quite a while ago. But you know, his wounds were pretty deep, and a lot of people thought he was going to be a goner, me included. So it then goes, and finally, now we're about halfway into the chapter, it then goes to the villagers, and it goes to Yusaku and Johnny, and they're like, oh, we need to save Brother Luffy, he cannot swim, and oh man, but if we go in there, we'll sink, we'll be goners right away, they'll sink us. And I don't know if he's assuming that, like, that, you know, the fishermen will jump in after him, or if it's just because they're wounded from getting their asses beat. But basically, Genzo stands up and he's like, listen, you two aren't going to be able to do shit in your condition, so I'm going to go in there. So then, you know, everybody starts standing up, and Nojiko's like, I'll go, and the villager's like, I'll go, and everybody's like, listen, we don't need a whole frickin' troop and a gang down there to free the kid. That's just going to draw attention anyway. A bunch of us jump in the water. Fishermen are going to see that. They're going to come after us. I'll go. I'll be fine. Nojiko says, I'm going too, you know. And he's like, dude, but your stomach, because, you know, she got shot, remember, by Captain Nezumi, one of his Navy men, his Marines. And she says, you know, it's my sister that my little sister that they're fighting for. I'm going too. So Genzo's like, all right, let's go. So now at least there's somebody on the move to go get Luffy. Because in the meantime, you see Luffy a couple different times, and he's just like, can't breathe. Lungs feel like they're on fire and they're going to collapse. And you're thinking, okay, dude, your minute or two of breath is up, you know. So, and he is, you know, sunk pretty far down into, you know, off the shelf there into the ocean, 100 feet or so. So it then goes back, and the tides kind of start turning in the favor of the enemies with the battle over here. And Hachi goes and does this maneuver as Zoro's going to come at him, and he's like the three-handed or six-handed sword grab or whatever. And he goes to go like this with his 3 sets of hands, and Zoro just goes and just goes right through him. And I'm assuming that he said sword catch, that he's going to try to catch it like they do in the cool samurai, you know, movies and everything, the ninja type deals. Well, that doesn't work, and he's like, ow. You know, so he's pissed off at Zoro, and Zoro basically goes and I mean he winds up shortly after that, he just kind of collapses. He just kind of goes down, and it looks like the wind is knocked out of him. So everybody starts assuming that, hey, his wounds must have been pretty grave for him to be like he's being right now, because he's very winded, you know. And so he pretty much Hachi looks at that as like the opportune time to attack him, and kind of comes at him, you know, and jumps up and goes to hit him with with his tentacles. And I forget the exact name of the move, but you know, it's something along the lines of, you know, basically like the tentacle bitch slap. He's going to come at him and nail him with a bunch of these things. And right as he goes to land on him or whatever, Zoro just all slick, like he's down on one knee, all cool, you know, and his sword's dropped and everything. And he just goes and reaches out with his free hand, right? And he just grabs him by one of his arm tentacles type things or whatever, and just fucking boom, and just lays his ass out, right? So Hachi's down for the count. While this happens, Sanji winds up taking his attention off of the battle with Kuroobi for a minute to look over at Zoro, because Zoro had gone down or whatever, and he winds up just getting cold-cocked by Kuroobi, right? Kuroobi just, BAM! Just nails him with this, you know, Bruce Lee-like punch, and Sanji goes flying, man, and he just goes through a wall, through another wall, and he's out of the building, man. He is out of there. And he's just like, I'm a 40th degree fishman, black belt fishman in fish kwando or whatever, you know, or ninjutsu fish style, whatever his deal is. So I used to be in taekwondo, actually, the Muda Kwan style, and 10th degree black belt is the highest that you can attain, and that's for somebody who's like 90 years old, who's been doing it since they were 5. But that's why it's kind of goofy that he's a 40th degree black belt in the fisherman, you know, ninja style, or taekwondo or karate, kung fu, what have you. So Sanji has been, everybody's like, oh my god, you know, and Usopp and Jen are like, Brother Cook, and he's not looking good, like he's out of there. So then it goes back into the place, and now they're like, you know, Kuroobi's like, Arlong, what do you want us to do with Zoro, you know, because Zoro has, at this point, he's passed out, right? He's just dropped, because after his move there, he's got nothing left. And he goes, and Arlong's like, whatever, toss him with the rest of the carcasses, that was nothing. So then they go and he goes to wake Hachi up, and he's like, Hachi, how long are you going to sleep, you know? What the hell? Because Hachi, remember, just got fucking cold cocked. Hachi gets up and he's just like mad. He's like, what? Who got me? You know, it's like you hit him with the smelling salts. All of a sudden he's just, you know, and so he gets up and all of a sudden they show this cool picture of him, and he's like, I'm the second best swordsman on the island, and he's got all his arms like crossed and stuff, and he's got a sword in each arm, a 6 sword style, right? So, and he's like, Arlong's like, who are you going to fight, dude? You know, basically, like, everybody's gone, right? So, Usopp's gone, Luffy's at the bottom of the sea, Zoro's passed out, when Sanji's knocked the fuck out, you know, got knocked out of the building. But at that point, Zoro stands up, right, and just in a cool look, he's got his head down, and he just looks all, you know, awesome and beaten and shit, you know, but he's got his sword, and he just looks all grizzled, man, you know, and he's just like, yeah, you know, I have a date with, you know, basically with Hawkeye or whatever, and until that happens, no one's going to take my life, right? So he's going to come at Hachi. He looks over at Yusaku and Johnny. He's like, hey, toss me your swords, you know, because he's only got the one sword, which actually makes Hachi makes mention of earlier in the chapter. I thought you'd do 3 sword style. And Zoro's like, don't even worry about it. I'm beating you bad enough with 1 sword. Anyway, back to the present, though. He gets a couple of swords, and now you know shit's about to go down with them, right? And you're thinking, oh, nice. This is going to be good. Zoro's got his 3 swords, and whatever deep well of energy he's pulling down from, he's going to bring it. Goes to Sanji outside, and Sanji just goes and fucking stands up, right, from just getting this 40th degree punch or whatever, and Sanji's like, that was a 40th degree punch, and he's brushing rubble off of him, you know. He goes, well, if that's a 40th degree ninja master punch or whatever, black belt master punch, he goes, when old Red Leg used to kick me, those must have been 400th degree, you know. So he's basically just brushing it off and saying, like, man, you got no effect on me, dude. So he's going to come back into the fight. And then the chapter actually ends with us showing we haven't seen Usopp the entire time, right? We know that Genzo and Nojiko are on their way to get Luffy, so we're hoping that one will be, you know, tied up or solved in the next one, but we're left hanging with it. But we see Usopp, just a little panel of him, and he's just like, just running still, you know. So that's how the chapter ends. I thought it was good. I think it's a lot of fun when these flow and there's a lot of action like this. It makes you want to read, like, you know, 20 of them. And like I said, just moves from one to the next. It's real quick, gets the heart going. So let me know what you think, brothers and sisters, in the comments down yonder. And of course, feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button, if you think that I deserve it. And then, of course, subscribe if you haven't not done so already. We will look forward to catching you in the next one, nation. As always, thank you for watching, brothers and sisters. Please remember to watch other videos and subscribe, otherwise man with cigarette will come to your house, kick you in the face, and then cook you and possibly eat you.